Alright, what's up guys? Ryan Henriquez here from Cane Hill. Some may know me as Heavy Shit on the internet. We're out here with Signs of the Swarm of Sulfur 156 and A Wake In Providence on the Decade of the Swarm tour. And I'm going to show you a few items, or pretty much all the items it takes me to get through a full Cane Hill show. And I'll start with, we'll start with the basses for now. I'll start off with my favorite main, which is this multi-scale. It's a ESP or LTD Deluxe. It's set up in F sharp, so it's F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, B, E. So you got that low tuning, which holds quite nicely, and it sounds really good in a studio or live setting. So this thing has been around the world with me. And it's a staple, it's a workhorse. I've got a 160 here for the large string, and then everything else is like a 105. It's the green XL D'Addario pack that you could pretty much get anywhere. So yeah, a little shout out to Groove Gear. Got to keep them all nice and quiet. I probably get about 4 to 6 shows out of each change now. That there's so many tunings, I'm not destroying one particular instrument, so it gets kind of spread out. The workload gets spread out amongst the fleet, and I've got a few of them because we've got so many different tunings. Some of them serve as backups, some of them are mains. So this is going to be, I'm running these on full. So that would be this control, and then this is just the selector of which one. It's set up straight down the middle, so I'm using both at full. My bass is cranked pretty high, my mids sit pretty much midnight, and then my treble, I just kind of blend it as needed. Typically, on a fresh set of strings, I'll kind of just set it at midnight, and then as the strings die, I'll roll the treble up to keep getting that clarity. But this bass doesn't really need much help. It does the job pretty much. So these are going to be Nordstrand big splits. They came with the bass. It's the only instrument out of the fleet that hasn't had a pickup change of some sort, and that isn't EMG. This one's kind of the one I'm riding the most right now. It's set up in E, and it is a high E, so it is A sharp, E, B, and E, and essentially I'll just ride this string and match the tone or the tune, the note of the guitar that is dropped down. So it's kind of like the Meshuggah approach to playing bass. It's got a hip shot bridge on it. It did not come with this. I had this installed. I also had these EMGs put in place of the Fishmans that had come with it, and it has an EMG 35 DCX in the bridge, and then a P bass or a 35 PX pickup in the neck, and then it's got a EMG BTC preamp in it, which gives it a nice full body grindy sustaining tone. And it's a neck through, so it just resonates really well. There's no loss of note or tone or anything. This thing's a workhorse, and it's actually the longest bass I've got. It's no lack of tension on this one. So this is a 125, 105, 75, 55. These are going to be Ernie balls. Ernie ball strings pretty much every other bass except the multi-scale. The multi-scale has to be strung with D'Addarios. They're the only ones that sell a string that long. But yeah, I'm a big fan of anything dinky headstock, so anything pointy, anything aggressive, I love. It's a slab body design, so it's nice and thick, lots of wood to resonate through, and it plays really well. You can, with this cut up here, you can pretty much hit any of the frets. So it's really comfortable to play, and I've enjoyed my time with it. Yeah, Tony from ESP keeps us pretty loaded, and he's pretty much supported us from the beginning. So he has pretty much helped me align this whole fleet. Yeah, there's no shortage of love for Cane Hill from that side. I'll show you my main for A. This one's probably the coolest out of the collection. It's a Japanese-built Horizon. It is from the 90s, and they have not made this in a long time. I found it on a listing in Japan. Somebody was selling it for dirt cheap, and I bought it around Christmas time, and it showed up in 2 days. It came with the EMG, so I didn't have to do anything to it. So it's basically been as is since I bought it. The only thing I did was I went and had it set up. But yeah, this thing is a relic. And that teardrop headstock, they don't even, I can't tell you the last time they had one of those in production. You can see some of my hair still stuck in the tuning peg and head spins. But yeah, this one's my my prized possession. I take pride in the fact that I own one of these. Yeah, same strings as the other one. I just have them in a different tuning. And then one thing I didn't note is that all the basses have been upgraded with a bone nut. So all of that plastic nut, we got that out of there. We don't need none of that. Bone nut is superior. So sorry, I got hair in my tuning peg. So it's all just one signal path. There's nothing MIDI, no patchwork going on here. I got these two little grabbers over there. They keep my pedal board from you know, sliding around on stage when the subs get real heavy in a room, so it kind of grips it in place. The signal path is basically going to start off with the Shure wireless, and then that sends a signal to my tuner, which goes into my pitchfork, my whammy, and then that goes into my clean DI. That's all one separated signal, kind of. It's still within one chain, but that will be the clean signal. And what we're doing here is we're using the electro harmonics to down tune to double drop E, and that is for like fade and all that stuff. And then my dying whammy over here, shout out to Josie from Sweetwater. He's actually gonna have one set up for me today, so we'll be replacing that one. So anything that has to do with changing the note of the bass goes before the clean signal, and then the clean signal spits back out into this phase 100 into my delay pedal, which has about 3 programmable channels and a tap tempo on there. So I do everything manually still, and then we go from the delay into the chorus. Chorus, reverb, and phaser are used for parts like in Power of the High and stuff like that. Real atmospheric, wonky, woozy type stuff. And then I have this really cool bass octave deluxe, which is used for a few breakdowns in the newer songs that give it just this extra dimension of body within the mix. It sounds really cool. So yeah, that all feeds into my dark glass units. Pretty much everything through the set is run into my Microtubes X7. That's the body of the tone. If I have anything to do other than straight up balls to the wall aggression, I'll switch over to this B7K, which is, if you can see, it's dialed all the way down. Everything is pretty much at 0 as far as drive and treble. It's just for clean. So yeah, it's just for something that can sound a little mellow in a mix and not poke out too much. And all that feeds into this rack over here, which is my dark glass head, and it's a Microtubes 900. It's pretty standard, everybody's seen them by now. But this one seems to work really well for me. It's my second one as well. Shout out to Microtube or Dark Glass for you know, just keeping me stocked. Even when the unit went down, they had another one on me in a few days. So yeah, they take really good care of me and make sure that I'm not out there without their gear. So it's pretty much a V-shape EQ. I'm pushing some highs right now because my strings are pretty dead, but you know, when we change those out, we'll cut that back down. Everything goes into the ears, so it's really not affecting anything speaker-wise on stage. It's basically used as my Kemper or Axe Effects, whatever you want to call it, signal into my ears. And that all runs into the core, which James will explain in a little bit. But yeah, drive's always high. Gain's not too cranked because it gets a little clippy in the ears, so you want to keep it as relatively clean as possible. I've labeled all of them, and everything has green tape to kind of distinguish in the you know, fog of war, basically, that is a nightclub or wherever you're playing. Things can get kind of mixed up. Everybody has the same kind of gear, you know, Anki cases everywhere. So we started marking ours with green tape or green little flags here for when we fly, so we can you know, keep a good grip on all of our gear. And I labeled all of them because each one of them has an air tag in it. So if one ever walks away or, you know, such and so forth, every case has an air tag, so I can track any of this at any time. And that kind of helps me organize everything as well. Now that there's 3 Anki cases, that's a lot. So so yeah, each one of them has an air tag. Keep your stuff safe. If it walks away, you know where to find it. For my in-ears, we're running the Sennheiser wireless transmitters, and that is being fed to my 1964 ears. They are the N8s, I believe, so they've got lots of body, lots of headroom. I haven't had to crank it too much, and the sound's quite nice. It seals perfectly because it's custom molded to my ears, so they'll never fall out, and I don't have too much bleed from the room. And I had them custom made, so they're super pretty. So shout out to 64 Ears for making it happen. They are definitely worth every penny I spent on them. What's up, guys? Ryan Henriquez here from Cane Hill. I want to let you know we're out on the Signs of the Swarm tour. It is a decade of the Swarm out here with your boys. Come check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. We're all on all platforms. And we are Cane Hill at, wearecanehill.com. You can catch us anywhere. And be sure to check us out on this next run. We've got about 2 or 2.5 weeks left of it.